This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, update on these fires. Let's find out from Fox 11. What's going on with these fires here? Fox 11. All right, I think they're talking about the
growth of the next.
This is an update moments ago from CAL FIRE.
48 hours. So that's the report for the line fire as of today.
The line fire.
Next up, we will have an update from the San Bernardino County Fire Protection District Fire Chief, Dan Munsey.
And 5% containment.
Yeah. And Fox is bailing because their microphone was 900 feet from the guy talking.
Belmont. So, the latest update is 24,000 acres.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That's a line fire.
In the meantime, we want to continue our coverage of that and check in with Laura Diaz, who's got more from near the front line.
Laura Diaz. There she is. You're on, Laura.
Yes, Alex. You know, that wildfire has been so intense that they were actually forced to shut down schools because of it. And people have been warned about the quality of the air. It's very dangerous to breathe it in right now, quite toxic. And as we talked to fire officials this afternoon, they said they were a long way from.
Thank you so much. Meanwhile, we're going to bring into the conversation now our new chief meteorologist.
All right. So here are the updates on the fire. We got 4 major fires. Actually, let's say 3. The airport fire, the bridge fire, and the line fire. The Sunset fire, there's been no update on that. It's been at 50 acres, so I think they got a pretty good handle on that fire. Might be wrong, but it looks like the 3 major fires. Of course, the line fire in San Bernardino, that's the one headed towards Arrowhead, Lake Arrowhead, and Big Bear Lake, and the city of Arrowhead and the city of Big Bear. That's at 24,000 acres. 24,000. The bridge fire, that's closer to us here in Burbank. That's the one up in Glendora, Azusa area, 12,058 acres. And then the airport fire, let me update this airport fire and see if we have any update on acreage. Okay, 1,860. That's the one that's burning in Trabuco Canyon. So there's the update on all the fires. Hopefully, at night, when it gets a little cooler, not much, it gets a little cooler, they can start to put some heavy water on these fires and knock a lot of these down. But man, are they stressed. They have all the crews that are out there. I imagine all hands on deck to try to get these 3 fires under control. You got the bridge fire, the airport fire, and the line fire. The biggest one is the line fire. That is 24,000 acres and climbing. All right, we'll have updates all night long or all day long, and I'm sure Mo Kelly will have updates for you as well. In other news, James Earl Jones has passed away. That's horrible. I didn't know he was 93. I thought he was like in his 60s. Eesh. Always seemed like a young guy. But 93 years old. What a career and what a life with this guy. This is unbelievable. James Earl Jones.
I shall pray for you morning and evening.
For over 70 years, he graced stage and screen with a voice that commanded attention.
Don't you try and go through life worried if somebody like you or not.
James Earl Jones was born in rural Mississippi in 1931, raised by his mother and his grandparents.
God, 1931. Wow.
As a child, he developed a debilitating stutter.
You never get over it, really. You simply learn how to work around it, you know.
A high school teacher helped Jones find his confidence and his voice. He fell in love with the stage at the University of Michigan and debuted on Broadway in 1957.
Just on a block and then keeping him off me.
His breakthrough Tony-winning performance came as boxing champ Jack Johnson in The Great White Hope. which was later turned into a movie.
Because every time you push that pinched up face in front of me, I see where it done got me.
As his movie career grew, he continued.
Wasn't that
in The Great White Hope?
Wasn't that the name of Mark Thompson's podcast originally? The Great White Hope, and then he had to change it. He got a lot of blowback on that.
In The Great White Hope, which was later turned into a movie.
Because every time you push that pinched up face in front of me, I see where it done got me.
As his movie career grew, he continued acting on the small screen. The first celebrity guest on Sesame Street.
I am the father.
Wait, that was on Sesame Street?
I am the father.
Wow. Have a dark Sesame Street.
I am the father.
But it was a 2.5-hour voiceover session for George Lucas that changed his life.
So he hires a guy born in Mississippi, raised in Michigan, who stutters, and that's the voice, and that's me. I lucked out.
The role propelled him, or at least his voice, to worldwide fame as Darth Vader in Star Wars. For the next 40 years, he excelled on stage, winning a second Tony Award.
James Earl Jones.
And on the big screen, a Navy admiral in The Hunt for Red October.
Oh, what a great movie. Hunt for Red October is great.
And I was never here.
In The Lion King.
You are more than what you have become.
The voice of a network.
This is CNN.
Oh, I forgot about that. When CNN started, that's the voice that really made him.
This is CNN.
Wow, man, I remember that like it was yesterday.
This is CNN.
You know, because I grew up, and so did Crozier, where we didn't have 24-hour news stations and 24-hour, stations at all.
And 3 million options for you to have to find a friggin' football game.
Crozier's still pissed that he couldn't see his Cowboys play yesterday because he doesn't have Fox. You had you had better access to stations in 1978.
Yeah,
than you do now.
Yeah, it's so difficult to figure out. Oh wait, where is it?
I know. I'm the same way because I have my DVR set up to record all the NFL games, and it only records half because some are on Amazon, some are on Hulu, some are on YouTube, others are on the ESPN, and I couldn't. I spent all day looking for them. The only ones I know I can catch now are on channel 2, 4, and 11. Those are the only games that that I can catch up to. But man, spending your whole day looking for a game is horrible. I'm with you, Crush. I'm with you.
And the voice of all baseball fans in Field of Dreams.
Oh yes, Field of Dreams.
People will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
He received an honorary Academy Award, had a Broadway theater named for him, became a Kennedy Center honoree, continuing to work in new projects.
Yeah, that guy was great. James Earl Jones passed away at 93. All right, keep an eye on all three of these fires. You got the airport fire in Trabuco Canyon, the bridge fire in Glendora, Azusa area, and then the airport fire in Trabuco Canyon. And we will have updates on all three. Busy day here on KFI.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
All right. 3 fires burning. And we got them all. Got acreage for you. We've got what's going on with these fires, and we're keeping on all of them. Let's update here real quick. There was just an update that came in on the airport fire 1 minute ago. 1,900 acres. That's the Trabuco Canyon, East Orange County fire, and it looks like 4 planes, and 3 helicopters flying over that fire. All right, that's the airport fire, they're calling that. Then the second one is the biggest one is the line fire. The line fire. And that's up to 24,000 acres. Oh, now they just reduced it to 23,714. So now it's 5% contained, which is great news. It was at 3%, so it's nearly doubled in containment. And that fire is massive. And it's headed towards Arrowhead and Big Bear if it continues. So hopefully they can knock this sucker down. But right now, it hasn't gone north of Highway 330. That's the line that they're looking to hold it at. Highway 330 up into Running Springs, and evacuations on all the north areas of Well, if you know where Smiley Park is, anything north of Smiley Park, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas there, all mandatory evacuations. There's a heliport up at the top of the hill that they're off of Highway 18 that they're filling up and trying to douse this fire. But it's still moving. It's still going. And it's not good if you live up in that area. It looks like it's not going to get to Lake Arrowhead. If this fire would have to go north and a little bit west to get to Lake Arrowhead. And if it continues to burn and we get this onshore breeze that's coming with these cooler temperatures over the next couple of days, this fire will most likely burn almost due east. And so due east of that fire is Mill Creek Road is out in that area. And then you have Seven Oaks. If you live in Seven Oaks, that's also mandatory evacuation. Above Seven Oaks, though, is Big Bear Lake. And if this fire continues its path north and northeast, it's going to go right into Big Bear Lake. So it's not close yet, but people up there are nervous as hell. You know, I think there are still a lot of trees up there that got wiped out by that bark beetle that haven't been taken down yet. And those go up like a candlestick, like a Roman candle. So that fire, the northeast line of that fire is huge. It goes all the way from Mill Creek all the way to the 330. And so there's got to be 15 or 20 miles of the front line of that fire. Maybe 15, maybe closer to 15. And 23,714 acres is the last update. And then we have the bridge fire, which is closer to, I guess, Glendora and Azusa. There's 2 helicopters working that fire, and they're going to try to get that to prevent that fire from connecting to a smaller fire that's northeast of that fire. And so it's going to be a very busy night for a lot of these firefighters trying to knock this crap down. So we'll have updates all night long on these fires. But just when you thought the fires, man, we got to worry about that, we got to worry about the heat, guess what? Another thing pops up. A swarm of earthquakes in the Inland Empire. It's unbelievable. Inland Empire. Out in there in Fontana, that area. Earthquakes.
The first quake struck just after 10 o'clock near Archibald and the 60 freeway. It registered as a magnitude 3.5 quake, and it turned out to be a foreshock because about a half hour later, a 3.9 magnitude quake hit. That has been the main quake thus far. Could be surpassed, of course. It was then followed by a 2.8. Folks in Ontario were a bit shaken up.
Everyone was just screaming, like going crazy, like
That second one hit, and it was just like it was a bigger one, obviously, the more noticeable, and everyone just kind of froze for a second.
All of a sudden, everything shook. I felt like the truck was coming through the store right here, especially with all the merchandise. It felt a lot stronger.
Dr. Lucy Jones sharing some insight.
So these people who live in Ontario, Inland Empire, Fontana, they can clearly see and smell the line fire from where they live. And their houses are shaking because of earthquakes. They must think the world's coming to an end.
Dr. Lucy Jones sharing some insight on Twitter today, saying the quakes happened on the Fontana seismicity lineation, which is a northeast striking line known for producing small quakes. And we always learn so much after every quake from Dr. Jones.
That's right. Dr. Lucy Jones. All right. We haven't really had much time to talk about the NFL, but that officially started last Thursday. But yesterday was the big day. And you had Tom Brady working for Fox. I thought he was great. A lot of insight that you don't hear in guys doing the announcing. And I thought Tom Brady for his first game was terrific. He's a very, very smart guy and probably knows football better than anybody. And for sure, better than anybody who's ever been in that booth. And he can tell you, he knows a lot of the players as well. He's only been out of the game, a year or so, or a year and a half. And he can tell you what's coming up, what happened, what the quarterback's going through. And if you're going to watch a game, even if you really don't care who, the two teams that are playing, this guy has tremendous insight into the game. He's on Fox. He's their A announcer, their A crew. And I don't know what game they're doing next week, but turn on Fox and listen to Tom Brady. He's terrific. He really is great. All right, don't forget, we have all three of these fires we're following. We'll give you a quick update when we come back. The airport fire, that's the big one in Trabuco Canyon in Orange County. Then we have the bridge fire, the smaller one near Glendora and Azusa. And then the big-ass fire, which I don't think they're calling it that, is the line fire. They should. That's a great name for it. The big-ass fire that's coming to Big Bear. But that's the direction it's taking. And people up there are nervous that it's coming and it could fly into Big Bear City. That would be a disaster.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Airport fire in Trabuco Canyon, right near Rancho Santa Margarita. Find out what's going on with this crazy fire. It's horrible.
Thank you so much. Good evening. I'm Cher Calvin. Micah has the night off. The dangerous heat and fast-spreading fires across Southern California continue to be the big story.
That's right.
Let's get right to meteorologist Vera Jimenez tracking.
Okay, while we wait for Vera to do the weather, there's another update from Chris Christie over there on Channel 7.
This is the burn scar. This is where the fire started along Trabuco Creek Road just after 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, I don't think that's Chris Christie. I don't know who that is, but somebody's flying over the fire. This is the Trabuco fire. They're calling it the airport fire.
This is the burn scar. This is where the fire started along Trabuco Creek Road just after 1 o'clock this afternoon. Orange County Fire Authority responded with multi-agency task force to attack this fire. You can see how the burn scar has just gone up the canyon here from that location and has burned all the way up near the top, near Main Divide truck trails. I come out to a wider shot here. You'll see the heavy smoke up there near the top. Now, right now...
And by the way, almost everybody who lives in Orange County can see this fire. It's massive. The plume of smoke goes up 20 to 25,000 feet. These helicopters that are shooting this for the news, they're at 9,000 feet, and they're not even halfway up that smoke. It looks like a big, huge mushroom cloud exploded in Orange County.
Air crews are focusing their attention on saving Santiago Peak here. As I zoom in, you can see the distance from the fire to that facility. That's a communication tower network up there at the top. We just saw a barrage of air tankers coming in, dropping fire retardants on that. There was about 3 or 4 drops that they hit, one after the other, putting a line of that fire retardant down. It looks like at this point it's starting to help stop that fire, the progression of the fire towards that facility right now. Down below, though, the air tankers, or I should say the water-dropping helicopters, are hitting all the hot spots down here along the fire retardant drops zones here. But again, the fire continues to burn out of control, moving quickly up the canyon here and all the way to the top. And again, they're concerned about Santiago Peak, and the brush clearance around that facility is not great. So they're going to likely hit it with some more tankers here before the sun sets.
Yes, that fire continues to roar. So all 3 fires, we're keeping an eye on all 3 of them. And don't forget, tonight, the Dodgers take on the Chicago Cubs at Dodger Stadium. First pitch, 7 p.m. Listen to every play on AM 570 LA Sports. And stream all the games at HD on iHeartRadio app. Keywords AM 570 LA Sports. The best casino in the Southland is Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. It's good times. All right, the presidential debate is already tomorrow. It's going to be happening live right here on KFI. We'll start coverage shortly after 5 o'clock. We'll be joined by Mark Thompson tomorrow. Also, Mo Kelly's going to pop in. Both those guys infinitely more into politics than I am. So maybe we can pick their brains on what they expect to hear and see on the big debate. But the presidential debate, I think and so far the only one scheduled is going to be happening right here on KFI tomorrow. And the actual debate starts at 6 p.m.
The countdown is on. The stakes are high. Only one day to go until Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump go head-to-head on the debate stage. The candidates preparing in different ways. Vice President Harris's team has been holding mock debates with full TV lighting. This will be her first presidential debate. Trump has been in 7. The former president has not been using the same strategy as Harris to prepare. No mock debates or studio lights.
Yeah, just sitting around with on Trump Force One with a bucket of KFC, knocking it out.
But he's reportedly holding informal policy sessions with a small team of advisors.
You know, they even have, for Kamala Harris, they have a guy who looks exactly like Donald Trump. He's got the the wig on, the big tie, the big suit, and he's doing, I think, 90-minute debates twice a day for the last 5 days with Kamala Harris. Ding dong.
Both will need to persuade millions of voters they're the best to be president. Harris will need to appeal to middle and working class Americans, while Trump needs to focus on the economy and immigration, all while avoiding personal attacks on Harris. It comes months after the last debate with President Joe Biden. And right now, it is a tight race with no clear winner. Trump has 48% of likely voters. Harris has 47%, which is well within the margin of error. So tomorrow's debate could sway who takes the lead.
Yeah, it's going to be well watched. I don't know if it's going to get 50 million. That's what the first Biden-Trump debate got with viewership. But I don't know. I don't know if people are back into school and doing their own lives and busy. I know that the people in Trabuco Canyon, Big Bear, Arrowhead, Glendora, and Azusa may be busy. Protecting their homes, their horses, their loved ones, their livelihood, maybe their small business. So they may not be watching as closely as other people down here in the flatlands. But that's going to be tomorrow. That debate starts tomorrow. The actual debate starts at exactly 6 o'clock. We'll do a little bit of lead up shortly after 5 p.m. And then the debate's supposed to last 90 minutes. So it'll start at 6. And then Mo Kelly will take over at 7:30 with his analysis of what we saw or what we heard, because you'll be hearing it on KFI. So listen to it on KFI. It should be wild. Don't know how it's going to go. Don't know who's going to win. Don't know what's going to be brought up or what's going to be said. But it should be interesting. Should be interesting. All right, speaking of interesting, there was a fossil that was found right under a San Pedro High School, and it could be pretty significant.
Take a look at this, a time capsule of a very different kind. It was discovered at San Pedro High School, and there are millions of fossils buried underneath the campus. Fossils, the bone beds, shell layers, the megalodon shark teeth, and also bones from...
Wait a minute. The what?
Shell layers, the megalodon shark teeth. And
oh, no.
No.
The megalodon shark teeth.
Is that a mafia guy?
The megalodon shark.
Hey, megalodon said, got off you here. Wow. Megalodon.
The megalodon shark teeth and also bones from baleen whales. They have been unearthed on a property where more than 2,500 students are already learning history, marine biology, and other important courses. LA Unified Superintendent Alberto Carvalho says the discoveries will be a big boom to the school and the region.
The fact that millions of fossils have been unearthed on this site.
That's wild, man. Right there under the high school. And we're going to take the high school down to sift around.
Has led to, quite frankly, a new era of concentrated studies that will bring notoriety to this community and to this high school.
And scientists say these fossils offer the most precise map yet of Southern California's marine life from 9 million years ago.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Wow, 9 million years ago.
The megalodon.
Croce, here's an interesting stat. I never thought about this before, but it does make sense. Everybody that was born before 1840, right? Billions of people.
All right.
Everyone born before 1840, not one single living person born before 1840 had any idea that dinosaurs existed. Nobody before 1840 ever knew a dinosaur existed. They didn't have...
Really?
They didn't have, the bones, the technology. They didn't unearth any of the crap. They had no idea that dinosaurs ruled the earth for hundreds of millions of years. Isn't that crazy?
That's hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah, me too. But I read it online, Crow, so it's got to be true.
Absolutely.
Because everything you read online, it's true. It's a true story. It does kind of make sense. People are really busy just trying to survive. in early life.
Literally survive.
That's right. There weren't a lot of Hollywood Bowl concerts. Guys were just trying to put enough food on the table and not get killed in doing so. But yeah, that's if that's true, and I think it is, that nobody born before 1840 ever knew that dinosaurs ruled the earth. Interesting to think about. Interesting. All right, we got to take a break here, and then we'll come back. We'll also see what's going on with the Mo Kelly Show. We're carrying all the knowledge of all these fires. We'll have an update before we get out of here on acreage and containment on all three of the major fires burning here in Southern California.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Airport fire. Let's get updates on these fires. The airport fire is the Santiago Canyon fire. 1,900 acres have burned. That fire has gotten a lot bigger since this afternoon. It started at 120. By 2:30, it was at 275 acres. Now it's nearly 2,000 acres. That's called the airport fire in Santiago Canyon. And that's out Orange County, South Orange County, Northeast Orange County, Rancho Santa Margarita area. That's a big one. Another fire is the Bridge Fire, 1,255 acres. That's the Glendora, Azusa, Laverne, north of there, along the 210 freeway. So 210 between the 605 and the 15 freeway, north of the 210. So it's east of Duarte, east of Azusa, a little bit east of Glendora, directly north of Laverne, north of Claremont, where Crozier is, northwest of Upland, Rancho Cucamonga, northwest. And there's another fire burning up there. They're trying to keep those two fires apart and fighting them, and they're going to need a lot of luck. The big one, the big fire that a lot of people are very nervous about up in the mountains is the line fire. And that started way down in Highland, right off the 210 freeway there. Let me see where this actually started. Yeah, it's up near, I can't figure out. Okay. It basically started in Highland, a little bit northeast of Highland. That's the closest big city. And that's burning towards, it's not burning towards Lake Arrowhead anymore. They're trying to keep it south of the 330. They're doing a great job of trying to use that Highway 330 as a natural break there. But all the areas up in that area north of Smiley Park are all mandatory evacuations, including Running Springs. If you're in the Running Springs area, you better get running. That's going to be a long night for people up there. And if that fire burns in the direction it's burning right now, it could hit Big Bear. We hope it doesn't, and don't want to alarm anybody, but we got to warn you that it is not good. It is going in that direction. And there are nearly 24,000 acres have already burned. I think that is low. I think on the next update, I think it's going to be closer to 25, maybe 27,000 acres. That is a lot. But 23,714 acres and a lot of evacuation orders. The warnings are for other areas, but the actual evacuation orders, and an order is an immediate threat to life. And law enforcement will ask you to leave immediately. And the area is lawfully closed to public access. So you can get out of there, but you can't get in there. If you own a home and you're not home, you're coming home from work, and you live in that area, they're not going to let you through. And they just have too much equipment. They're moving around, and they don't have the manpower to come and get you if your house catches on fire. So that's Highway 338, including the Green Spot Road there. Green Spot Road North. And then all the underdeveloped land east of Highway 330, I think all the way up to Summer Trail Place is last I heard, and north of Highland Avenue. That's also an evacuation, mandatory evacuation. Running Springs, east of Highway 330, south of Highway 18. For people up in that area, you know what I'm talking about. Another mandatory evacuation. And then the communities of Running Springs and Arrow Bear Lake. get out. You got to get out. The other one is Orchard Road, Clover Hill from Highland Avenue north to the foothills. And also north of Highland Avenue and east of Palm Avenue to Highway 330. And then you got Forest Falls up there, Mountain Home Village. And then you have Seven Oaks and all the campgrounds and the cabins in that area. So that's a huge, major fire. Evacuations to the north and evacuations to the east. And they're trying to keep this fire from moving into the Big Bear area. The one problem they're going to have is they're going to have winds that are coming off the ocean. And those winds almost 99% of the time are blowing fires east. And if this fire continues to go in the northeast direction it's going in, it's going to spell really bad news for Running Springs and the Big Bear area. They've got a lot of room right now between this fire and the Big Bear area, but you never know. You know, these fires can explode, and there's a lot to burn in that area. So I know it's going to be a sleepless night. Keep listening to KFI for updates all night long. All right, that's the fire report. Tonight on television, kind of a local kid who's not had much success finally found a job he's going to get paid for. Yeah. You might have heard Ryan Seacrest starts his new job today as Wheel of Fortune host. How about that? He's hosting the Wheel of Fortune. He's a fellow iHeart employee. He's going to be hosting the Wheel of Fortune.
After 8,000 episodes.
Bust a move?
Yeah, that's it.
And thousands of solved puzzles under former host Pat Sajak.
Well, this is it, Ryan. What do you think?
Impressive, Pat.
It's time for Ryan Seacrest's spin as the new host of Wheel of Fortune. As he told CBS Sunday Morning, he understands how much the show means to its audience.
This is such an incredible, special franchise. It's more than a TV show. It is something that means something to people. And when I found out that this was an opportunity for me, there was no thought to this. It was like, absolutely, let's figure it out and let's get started.
Though he has big shoes to fill, this is not something new for Seacrest.
Pat Sajak is not the first legend that Ryan Seacrest has succeeded. He first took over for Casey Kasem as the host of America's Top 40. Then he took over for Dick Clark with New Year's Rockin' Eve. So he really knows how to do this. That was a big selling point, in fact, in why he was the #1 choice.
And his transition will be made easier with Vanna White, who will remain as co-host on the show.
I've known Ryan for probably 20 years, but in the past couple of months, we've done some traveling together for the show, and we got to know each other a little better, too. So I think our chemistry is good.
As Seacrest and White find their chemistry, they'll look to build on the show's devoted following.
Wheel of Fortune is really an incredible success story. This is a show that has been going on for 4 decades, teaching people how to learn English when they come to this country, or that everyone just sits down with their families and watches at the end of the day.
There you go. Ryan Seacrest hosting Wheel of Fortune. Dig dong with that guy. All right, we covered a lot today. We had the fires, all 3 of the major fires that were burning. The Trabuco fire still burning out of control with, I believe there's still 0% contained. Let me see. Let me take one last look at it here. The airport fire, the containment on this fire is 0%. All right, that's not good. 0%. There's 0% containment on a lot of these fires burning in California. The bridge fire is 0%. Airport fire, 0%. The line fire, 5% now. That's a good number. It was at 3. Now it's at 5, nearly doubled. And that's a good, solid number. And you should be thankful if you live up in Running Springs or Big Bear that they've got somewhat of a handle on this fire. Even at 5% is much better than 0. So 3,000 acres on the bridge fire out off the 210 freeway, just north of the 210 freeway. Glendora, Azusa, Claremont area, north of there. And then the airport fire, that's the Trabuco Canyon fire, started at 121 all the way up to 1,900 acres. 1,900 acres, 0% containment. The big one is the line fire in San Bernardino. It started last Thursday night on September 5th. It is roaring at 23,714 acres. Quick update. Yeah, 23,714. That's the last update, and that's 5% contained. That's the one that a ton of people are worried about. There are a lot of people who live up in these mountains, and they love their homes. A lot have been up there, for generation after generation, and this is the kind of crap that they're afraid of. This fire is very close to Running Springs. That whole area, mandatory evacuation in that entire area, and this could look really grim tomorrow. We all have to pray that this is not going to happen, that they can put enough phosgenic and enough water down to prevent these homes from burning. But that Running Springs is a great area. A lot of great people live up in that area. So keep them in your prayers tonight. They are going to need it. And if this fire does get through Smiley Park and keeps going east, it's south of the 18 Highway 18 up there, and it's north of 58. So it's burning along Highway 330, and then 330 turns into 18 right up in Running Springs area. That's where it comes to an end, and then it turns into Running Springs, which turns into Highway 18. All right, we're live. I'm sure Mel Kelly have updates all night long on these fires. And don't forget the big debate tomorrow here on KFI. We'll be starting to talk about 5:30. Debate starts at 6 p.m. It's Conway on KFI AM 640.
Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.